Yo fam, you know what it is. It's your boy Sebastian Sanders, and we are back this week with another edition to the Money Monday series. Man, this is season 1 on the One God TV, man. Thank you all so much for the continued support. But hey, today I want to talk something with y'all. As you know, I always call myself the nonprofit Don. I'm the executive director at Sanders Hand Ghana. I've been working in the nonprofit space for the last 4 years of my life. I've helped start up so many different nonprofit organizations. I've served on different boards of organizations. Man, I have over thousands of hours of community service, thousands of dollars being serviced back into my communities. Man, the list goes on and on and on, right? And I said all that to say that because I want to show you today how to start a nonprofit with $25 within 10 minutes, right? Now, that sounds like cap, right? You're like, oh, he lying, right? Nah, $25. You know what it is. The Art of Giving. The one nonprofit can change the world. As you know, April of 2020, I released and published my first book, right? And I wrote a book on how to start a nonprofit. This book is different because a lot of business books that you may read, to me, they're boring. And I love books, but a lot of business books are very boring because it's just chapter after chapter, it's business after business after business. People love to see real life stories, and they like to really take away from what they're reading. And they like to see transparency along the way. So that's a tip for anybody that want to be an author. When you're writing something about how to do something, provide some transparency along the way. But neither here nor there. This book is the business and inspirational guide to creating change. I'm going to show you how to start a nonprofit. And so I want you to do something. If you really want to create change, you want to create a business that's going to serve people, you want to do stuff like that, $25, go to sandershand.org, get your copy. All these copies are signed. This is how you start a nonprofit organization. When I first started, I was trying to find a book, and this book said 2003. How am I start a nonprofit in 2018 and the book is 14 years old? Do you know how stuff evolves and changes? So that's what I said, you know what? Let's go and write a book, and I'm going to show you how to do it today. So let's get right into it. Those of you who do have your copy of the book, we're going to go chapter by chapter today, and I'm going to go chapter by chapter, but I'm not going to read the whole book to you because I'm not going to give you that. You got to get that from the book when you read it yourself. But I'm going to show you how each chapter is going to formulate your nonprofit. And so today, let's pick a random topic, right? Let's start a nonprofit today based off this book, off of providing healthier food to the community. So let's name this nonprofit Eat Good. Right? The Eat Good Foundation, the Eat Good organization. Let's get right into it. You see it, but do you believe it? The Art of Giving, one nonprofit can change the world. Right? So let's get right into it. All right? I'm taking y'all to school today. Oh, can't even get the page open. There we go. All right. The Art of Giving. Right? So the first thing you will see, it is a definition page. Right? Giving is an art, and I defined it for you. The intentional, selfless, loving, and caring devotion of dedication for a community, person, or movement to better the living qualities of any person or object. That's what the Art of Giving means, right? We got the dedications page. And then another thing that we got that's cool about this is, what does giving mean to you? We got lines in here for you to write. You ain't gotta go buy your notebook. So for $25, you get a book and a notebook in one. I think that's a solid deal, right? So you may get the definition, you may write what it means to you, right? So let's get right into it. Chapter 1, change the world. This is a forward, essentially. This is kind of some motivational stuff. Won't get deep into this, but I just kind of briefly talked about, why I started my organization. Sitting in my statistic class, it hit me. Since summer was approaching, I could do a summer donation for my community back in Houston, Texas. I was filled with excitement and anxiety. I quickly rushed home after class and instantly called my father, who is my inspiration and my personal business consultant. We talked about the pros and the cons of the idea, but I still felt something was missing, right? So that's the forward of Change the World. That's kind of, an insert of me just kind of basically talking about how I got started, right? My first ever project of giving was a donation. Not knowing that these same individuals that I've met and donated to would have an everlasting inspiration on the future of Sanders Hand. Chapter 2, Purpose versus Mission. You heard what I said earlier. I said $25, you can start an organization today. And that's exactly what we're doing. Let me get right into it. All right, let me get my paper. Let me get my paper and my pen. Taking y'all to school, and we're going to do this together. Right, so Chapter 2, Purpose versus Mission. So this is where we take a deep dive into what your organization, the inner structure of your organization. Your purpose and your mission are two different things. They're not the same thing. And a lot of times we get these things confused. So we talked about it earlier. Eat Good is the name of our foundation or our organization, right? Eat Good. So what is going to be the purpose of an organization? organization that's going to be Eat Good, right? All right, you want to give back. You want to change the world. The first step in the pursuit of giving is finding a purpose. In this life we lead, we are placed on earth for a purpose. It's up to you to find that purpose and turn it into reality. Like the great Nipsey Hussle stated, find your purpose or you're wasting air. The most significant factor in giving is finding a unique and authentic purpose. What's your reason? What's your ride? So for myself in the beginning, I struggled with the identity of the Sanders hand, right? We started off with the statement increasing the minority attendance rate while decreasing the minority poverty level. Not realizing that wasn't our mission, but this was our purpose. So when I first started Sanders hand, I said, okay, we want to send more, African American and Hispanic students to college, right? So we're trying to increase the minority college rate while decreasing the poverty level. What that means is sending more students to college, decreasing that poverty level. With the poverty level decreasing, you're having more income coming into these families. The poverty line decreases, more money is flowed in for our people, right? That was our purpose. That was not the mission. So eat good. What's going to be our purpose of eat good, right? If we want to bring healthier foods to our communities, the purpose of this organization is going to be to increase the quality of food intake by minorities and communities by providing healthier meals and healthier food options in substitute of what they're normally having. That's the purpose of your organization. You can create 100, 200 programs, but all those programs are going to fall under the purpose of that organization. And I wish I would have wrote that down, but I hope you wrote that down. Because you paid for $25 and you want to start an organization, I hope you wrote that down because I just gave you, I'm giving you an organization, to be honest, for free. I'm giving you a business today. I'm going to show you how to do an organization around Eat Good. So I'm giving you a business for free. But that's the purpose. The purpose has to really, it has to deeply align with everything, but it has to make sense. It has to make sense to your audience, to your donors, to your funders, to your supporters. It has to make sense to everybody. The purpose is very significant, and it has to get straight to the point. Straight to the point, what we do with Eat Good is basically when a person hears that, they're going to say, okay, you want to provide healthy meals to the people. You just want to be able to spice it up, say it in a fancier way that makes sense, but in also a way that attracts people, donors and supporters, right? Your purpose is always measured by your impact and is often evaluated numerically or socially. What that means is your purpose is going to have a statistic that falls behind it, right? The reason why we say minority, we don't just specify African Americans and Hispanics. We can't just say I want to provide to African Americans. Because a lot of times in these communities, when you look at the population, it's centered around so many different, factors. You have your African Americans, you have your Hispanics, Caucasians. There's so many different people that make up a community, right? So you want to say minority, right? You want to say the people, the little people. You want to speak for them. So that's what, when it comes down to purpose. That's why we use the numerical standards. We use numerical wording when you're building your purpose. The same thing at the social aspect. You want to bring in the social aspect when you're building your purpose as well, right? And so questions that surface around your purpose are often, what's your 5-year plan? How will this benefit the youth or the community? And the first step into identifying your nonprofit is establishing a clear and a meaningful purpose. Without a concrete purpose, your organization's sustainability is at risk. Some of the most successful nonprofits, such as the Salvation Army, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, all have a clear purpose, and that sets them apart from the competition. After your purpose is established, but listen, purpose, then mission. When I founded Sanders Hand, I did the process completely backwards. I started a mission before I did the purpose. We had a mission statement, but we didn't have the purpose. Purpose is going to come first. And so what this means is, sometimes you have to really slowly take your time when you're building these businesses. We always say, I want things to happen at a certain time frame. Things are going to happen when it's supposed to happen, but you got to get the infrastructure and the internal operations when you're building a nonprofit organization. And that recalls your purpose and your mission. So we talked about the purpose, and I'm going to get into the mission. The mission is going to be simply how you execute, right? So if Eat Good is trying to provide healthier options to minorities, what is going to be the mission, right? The mission statement is going to be by providing 100 to 200 meals per quarter, right? Whether these are meals or healthy options, guys. Help me out here. I'm going to just throw out some stuff. Potato salad. Wait, no, not that. I'm sorry, not potato salad. I don't eat healthy if I said that. Let me think of some healthy options. I said potato salad. Some salads, right? I don't know, right? We off the head with this one, right? But look, we want to provide healthy options. So our mission is going to be for Eat Good is per quarter we provide over 500 families and students with healthier meals to substitute for what they're getting. So what that means is if you want to provide those meals, let's say you provide after school meals, you can provide breakfast meals, right? Saturday meals, whatever it's going to be. That's going to be your mission. Your mission is how you execute the purpose. That's chapter 2, guys. Let's get into chapter 3. It's getting hot. It's getting spicy in here. Chapter 3 is the development prosperity. A major key to anything in life is growth and development. Since 2017 until now, which is 2022, a lot of trial and error has led me to what I am today, right? So a lot of things, sometimes you just really have to just try out. As a nonprofit organization or really anybody in business, you're going to do a lot of things good, but you're going to do some things bad, right? A lot of things I've done really good, but y'all may not really see the things that I do bad because we try to cover it up and adapt and grow from it. It's all a part of business, man. It's just like being a person. You got to grow. So, in this development stage of building your organization, your organization is going to change so many times. If you remember how Sanders Hand, when we first came out, it was always college stuff. Now we send it more into like providing financial and business aspects to students and families. We even expanded our audience. We even got more, concrete in what we do by finding a specific demographic audience. So you're going to continue to change. A lot of the best businesses change. You don't see McDonald's being the same thing for 30, 40 years. The food is still the same, but if you go inside, man, they got a thing where you can go in and hit it and you can order your food. Don't ask me why I know that. Because I went and got some fries one day. I don't eat McDonald's, but I got some fries there from there one day. So that's how I know that. But, they have evolved and changed. So let's get into it. The 3 developmental phases in nonprofits are creating programs and services, picking your staff and your board, and identifying and branding your organization. Programs and services should be a given. If you're looking to create revenue, if you're looking to create change, you have to create programs and services. And I'm not going to get deeper into that today, but we're going to do a video on programs and services, right? Because I have a special coach. She's amazing at this, and she's my personal coach. So I'm going to get into that at a later time. Right now, we just surface level building our organization. So Eat Good. Eat Good, let's just throw out a program. One of the programs is going to be breakfast for kids, right? So let's say instead of giving them breakfast tacos, we want to give them an apple and some applesauce, orange and applesauce. I don't know. We're going to give them something, right? We off the head with it, right? We're not really deep into it. We're just giving surface level. And one of the services we're going to provide is we're going to provide school districts with healthier, homegrown, organic options. So instead of them going by a bulk of foods from some farmers or whatever, we're gonna get it to them organically, the healthier way, right? That's a service. Picking your staff and your board for Eat Good, we're gonna bring in some nutritionists, we're gonna bring in some scientists, and we're gonna bring in a community outreach person to help us land those deals, right? And then we're gonna build a board. And then identifying and branding. So Eat Good, let's pick some colors, red and green, right? Christmas colors, red and green. We're branding this as a nutritional company. So in the identifying stages, we need to partner up for Eat Good. If we want to provide healthier options, we need to partner up with some home foods, some local entrepreneurs or some local leaders in our community who are on the front for healthier living options. Let's identify and brand ourselves with them. And so chapter 3 is essentially something that you will read, but you'll break this down as you get deeper into your nonprofit journey. And you may not be able to resonate with it now, but when you create it, you get into it, you're going to be able to resonate with it and say, that's why we develop so many different times, because we're going to evolve. However, in the nonprofit industry, along with being part of an organization, you are part of something that's bigger than yourself, something that's for the greater good of the community that affects thousands, even millions of people. Once you have established a nonprofit's name and basics along with the programs and services, then it's extremely important to pick your team based on your community obligation and your purpose and your mission. Let me tell you something. Eat Good is around healthy living, right? Why would you go and bring somebody who is an engineer, who does software engineer? That person is great, but their expertise has nothing to do with your business. It doesn't make sense. So if you're building an organization and you're working with kids, why do you got people who don't like kids on your team? It has to make sense. So when your development, as we talk about in this chapter, be strategic, be very aligned with the brand, and make sure you're putting in everything that brand represents, and you're bringing in quality people, right? It's extremely important in the developmental phase that you don't rush through this. For me, it took me 6 to 8 months to really develop something. For those that know, I didn't do anything for the first 6 to 8 months. I volunteered. I was out volunteering at these different businesses and at these different events, and they were like, what are you here for? I said, I'm just a college student looking for resume hours. Meanwhile, I have a whole organization. but I was becoming a student of the game. I was in the developmental stages. I couldn't jump out the gate and say I have an organization because they was going to say, what's the mission? What's the purpose? I'd be like, I don't know. We just want to give back and change and send kids to college. Sounds good, but it ain't going to get you nowhere because it doesn't have no infrastructure, no operation. You get me? So you got to be strategic in the developmental prosperity, right? The last developmental phase is identifying and branding. We talked about that. So now we got the purpose and the mission. We got the services. We got to get a board of directors. We got all that, right? This development comes with finding unique ways to market your brand and separating yourself from the pack. You may find in the nonprofit space, there's 1,000 people that do what you do. 1,000. Trust me, I ain't the only organization that provides my services for entrepreneurship and skills to our kids. But what makes us different is we got that flavor. We got something that a lot of these organizations doesn't have. We have that youthful activity. And we also got a real good executive director and myself sitting at the table because I bring in a whole new world because my infrastructure didn't come from nonprofit. I come from business. My father was an entrepreneur, my mom was an entrepreneur. I seen business my whole life. I went to school for business management. So I brought something different to the table. And I think that's what led to a lot of our success. And we had a great team around us. Everybody, they brought something different. And so with that being said is, in the developmental phases is, you got to find what makes you different because you got little JoJo and little Sally down the street who want to provide healthy meals as well. Y'all all doing the same thing, but one of y'all has to be the chosen one. In this developmental phase, what's going to make your nonprofit different? If you provide healthier food, how can you provide healthier food? Everybody gives it to them in a box. There ain't no pair of shoes. You giving kids food in the box. Figure out another way to give it to the kids. Whether that's, say, hey, let's do an event where every Thursday we come out with, I don't know, Banana Man and Apple Woman and we giving out food and stuff to the kids. Make it fun, make it spicy, but make it different. Uniqueness sells. Uniqueness sells. And a lot of people skip this out in nonprofits because they feel like nonprofits needs to be boring, needs to be simple. No, uniqueness sells. Trust me. You guys know what it is, man. Development of prosperity. That's that chapter. Chapter 4 is addressing the need, right? And a lot of this, you guys, you get this deeper into the book. Like I said, this is just surface level. In today's climate and society, we face a series of social and economic issues in our community, whether it's poverty, whether it's environmental issues, health issues, inequalities, animal abuse, etc. There's a problem near you. This is where the significance of your nonprofit comes into place. There's a problem. You have to become the solution. You have to address a need. So if Eat Good is our nonprofit, right? We want to address that need. We got to figure out what's that need. A lot of times addressing the need is going to be field work. You got to spend time in the trenches. You got to be on the front lines. You got all these people who say I'm for the community. They ain't stepped foot in the community. They done gave some turkeys out on Thanksgiving. They say they for the people. You ain't never seen them inside the schools. You ain't never seen them on the streets talking to kids and trying to see what's going on. This is where you have to really get down and dirty. And that's what we did for 6 to 8 months. And this kind of flows in with the developmental aspect. You got to figure out what's wrong with the people. How can I change it? How can I rescue my people? Addressing the need is a lot of field work. So before you get out there and want to do that big event, you want to go crazy with it, start local, start small, and say, you know what? Let's spend time just volunteering and figuring out what's going on. And I tell everybody that. And trust me, I would never steer you guys wrong, man. You know what it is. Chapter 5 is the public charity status. This is going to be something that's going to be very niche based, right? And I'm going to tap into this on the next episode because today you guys got a lot of information. We built Eat Good. Eat Good is our organization. We realized we got the mission, right? The mission is going to be, provide meals to our kids per quarter, right? We got the purpose is we're going to, provide healthier meals for these the minority families and the communities and things of that nature by substituting what they're normally eating. So providing them with healthier options. That's going to be our purpose. We got a program where we got an after school breakfast program, right? And then you got your board. You know what type of people you need: nutritionists, you need some scientists, you need some community outreach. So we've built the organization to this part, but it's about to get hot. Before it gets hot, I need you to close what you're doing, turn this episode off, go take a nap, go to sleep, come back tomorrow and it's like, okay, we'll come back next week, I should say, and we'll get ready for the public charity status. But for $25, you can create a nonprofit. I'm not going to sell you something for $1,000 say no. I'm giving it to you for $25. This book is the creation for change. This book is going to change your life, change your community. You know what it is, you see it, but do you believe it? Check us out next week and we'll get deeper into it as the public charity status is our next phase.